While the slide projector warms up here, I've been the pastor of Lee Street Church for 16 years, and before that I had a real life. That's supposed to be funny. Right? I was a teacher at Holland Christian for 14 years before that, and 3 years before that in Ontario, California. So some people say I've still never had a real job. That, again, is... I can never be a late night guy, that's for sure. Anyway, the reason I put this little thing together, this PowerPoint together, is because I went to a Classis meeting when I was an elder at Maranatha Church in Holland and had no clue what I was doing. My guess is that many of you here have no clue what you're doing. You're wondering what is up, what is a Classis and all that, and I'm going to run through a few slides very quickly, and then Bernina is going to tell more about why you deacons are here as well. So the definition of a Classis, this comes from Article 39, defines the classical assembly as a group of neighboring churches. Each organized church belongs to a Classis. That's your definition, the word Classis. And then it goes on, the authority of Classis is simply, got a little problem on the table there. Classis is a major assembly established with the authority of Christ given to the church to exercise that authority over the councils of the local churches. The Classis has the same authority over the council as the synod has over the Classis. And the next slide will point that out. Synod is the top rung of our governance, all right, meets once a year. Classis meets 3 or 4 times a year, depending on which Classis you're in. We have meetings 3 times a year. One is for educational purposes, and 2 are for business sorts of things like we're doing tonight. And then a council or a consistory, I don't know how many times you meet, but your elders and deacons probably meet once a month. So that's kind of the order of the CRC governance. I put this picture together, and I just... a little problem. A Classis might best be described by using an analogy of a fleet of Navy ships deployed with a common purpose. Each church joins the mission with the gifts God has given her. And I like this kind of analogy because we are like ships in a fleet all together. And the fleet looks something like this. This is our map. There are 5 churches in Byron Center, and that's down in the lower section there. The furthest south, of course, is Dorr. Then we have 5 more churches. The red triangle-ish sort of diagram there are the Grandville churches. And then there are also 5 churches in Wyoming. 16 ships, all go into battle for Jesus Christ. All right, hopefully all working together. To bring this mission forward of bringing the gospel of Jesus Christ, not only to our own members, but also to our neighborhoods around us. All those people who are in those circles or in those triangles, in those colored areas. Our task is to bring the mission of Jesus Christ to them. So you can say that this is a whole fleet together, or you can say that there are individual squadrons, however you want to talk about it. It's important that we try to work together. Now, in our Classis here in Granville, we did some rethinking over the past years of how we want to work together. There are Classis that work much more closely together, doing different things with each other than we do at Classis Grandville. But we may soon be ready for another renewal time, figuring out, especially with the deacons involved now, we may need to go through another renewal. And then just some slides here on some CRC Classis trivia. This is just to kind of wake you up here. All right. So how many Classis are there in the Christian Reformed Church in North America? I'll give you 3 seconds to pick your choice. And there's no prizes at the end. The answer is 48 Classis. All right. How many got it right? Wow, you guys are good. Or you gals, too. How many of the 48 Classis are in Canada? 10. How many got that right?
How many are in the United States?
That's good. That's coming next. How many of the 38 Classis in the United States are made up of Michigan churches? 12. As we move along. Dan, will you drag that table back for me?
Yep.
Which Classis in the CRCNA has the most congregations? And that bottom one is Pacific Northwest. So Central California, Greater Los Angeles, Holland, and Pacific Northwest. Got your answer? 45 in the Pacific Northwest. How many got that right? All right. Which Classis in the CRCNA has the least congregations? Yellowstone. 9. How we doing? How many got that right? Which Classis has the most church members? That would be our neighbor, Holland. Which year was Grandville Classis organized? (1958). I was 3 years old and not living here. Which Classis is most recently organized? Both Coam and Hanmi in 2014, just recently. How many members are there in Grandville Classis? How many members in all of our churches, all put together? And that would be B, 7,514, unless your churches just did some baptisms. Well, then we have more. Hopefully, well, I just had a member die, so I have a funeral tomorrow. So 7,513. In Grandville Classis information, Grandville Classis is made up of 6 teams. And you'll see this as we go through the budget later on in the business time. Executive team, community impact team, stewardship team, leadership development team, established church development team, and prayer team. And these used to be called committees, and now the newer word is team. I think there's newer words out there which we may change in the future. But each team gives a report at each Classis meeting. And one last slide for me. How many of you are excited about being here today? All pastors and elders, all elders and deacons, some elders and a few pastors, some deacons and a handful. I'm
What's the
finished.
answer?
But do that.